Hello guys, welcome back to our tips video. This is the round 13 tips for 2026, and yep, let's start with the Crows and the Cats. Last time they played each other was round 3, and yep, 6-5 to 8-4. Cats have more percentage, and last week John fell short. Cameron kicked 4, Baz had 35 disposals, 126 AFL fantasy and 7 tackles, and Mana and Atkins had. And even Baz also had 7 tackles, so yeah. And Crows against Hawthorn. Berry had 10 tackles. Jordan Dawson had 131 AFL fantasy and Miller had 32 disposals. So yeah. Anyways, first game, gonna tip Geelong by 33 points. Now Friday night, Hawks and the Dogs signed at the MCG. 8-3-1 to 7-5. Dogs win another close one, and Hawks defeat Saints. And yep, Nick Watson goal was denied. And yep, last time we played each other was Gather Round. But yeah, Hawks. Gunsy kicked 5, Sicily 33 disposals, 123 for AFL fantasy. Mackenzie and Newcomb had 6 tackles. And Dogs. Lewis kicked 3, and Love had 8 tackles. So yeah, anyways, Hawks by maybe 17 points. And now we're moving on to North and Frere. It's another hands-over game. Yeah. Last time we played each other was round 14 last year. 11-1 to 5-6. North came back from 43 points down to winning after the siren thanks to Zerha. And Freo win at the Gabba for the first time in 10 years. Freo. Amos kicked 4, Voss kicked 4, and Andy Brayshaw had 6 tackles. And North. Darling kicked 3. David Uniac also had 126 AFL fantasy, and she's led 32 disposals. So yeah, anyways, for this Freo bye, I'd say 41 points. And now the Q Clash. Preseason doesn't count. Yeah, Suns, Lions. 6-6 to 7-4. What's Brisbane doing? Last time we played each other was last year's semi-final. Gold Coast only winning these last 5 results in last year in round 20. Yep. So Gold Coast did lose to North. Walter kicked 3, and yep. Lions. Zach Bailey had 30 disposals and Moore had 125 AFL fantasy. So yeah, anyways, Suns by 10 points to make it 4 losses in a row for Brisbane. I mean, what are they doing? After defeating Carlton and Essendon. So moving on, Eagles and Port. 3-8 to 4-8, but Eagles won the WA Day game by 30 points. And yep, Port lose again. Last time we played each other was in round 3. Yep. For Port, Horn Francis kicked 3, 32 disposals for him, and 124 AFL fantasy, and Willem Drew had 11 tackles. And West Coast. Waterman kicked 3, Millen Murdoch kicked 3, and William Dersman had 109 AFL fantasy, and Tom Cole had 6 tackles. Anyways, I reckon Eagles should win this. Eagles by 25 points. And yep, now Sunday ticket. Swans v Saints. 10-2 to 5-7. Last time we played each other was round 18 last year. And yep. Swans, they won by 114 points. Kerno kicked 8. Heaney 32 disposals, Warner. And yep, Heaney also had 163 AFL fantasy and 7 tackles. James Rebon also had 7 tackles. So yeah. And for Saints, goalless first half. Sinclair 33 disposals. Yep. Anyways, Sydney by, I reckon, 36 points. Now moving on to the last Sunday ticket game. Bombers and Blues. Last time we played each other was round 24 last year. 4-8 to 1-11. Bombers sacked Brad Scott before the start of round 12. Even after that, they lost to West Coast in the WA day. Carlton went 3 in a row under Fraser. 10 years of the Carlton Respects program, and yeah, they might make finals, but yeah. For Essendon, Archie Roberts had 31 disposals, and Zach Merritt had 109 AFL fantasy and 6 tackles, and Sullivan Robbie even had 6 tackles in him. Carlton, Sam Walsh had 7 tackles. So yeah, anyways, Carlton by maybe another close one. So I'd say 4 points. And our last game is the Pies and the Demons, King's birthday. 5-6 and 1 to 7-5. D's lose 2 in a row. This time the Giants. I mean, Giants are good after, but we'll touch on the Giants in the round 14 tips video. Dogs defeated Collingwood. Yep, last time they played each other was Track's last game as a Demon, and the last time Melbourne even lost to the MCG. So yeah, Demons. He kicked the goal contender early in the game. Myercheck kicked 3, and yep, Collingwood. Tim Embry kicked 3, Jordan McGowan had 127 AFL fantasy, and Nick Dacos had 37 disposals. But D's have more percentage, but D's are good at the G this year, so maybe for another win at the G. D's by, I'd reckon, 2 points. And yep, these are our tips for round 13. Anyways, please make sure to join my tips comp. It'll be in the link in the description down below if you want to join. Anyways, thanks for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe for more AFL tips videos.